literally just finished the gym. My hair is humongous, but it is second jab today. So I need to go get that sorted. And hopefully I don't literally get taken out of the game for a whole 24 hours like I did last time. But I'm gonna vlog the experience this time. Let's see what happens. So I'm at the vaccination centre now. Just realised I've forgotten a mask, like my normal mask. But I have one of these Butters like industrial things in here, which are horrific. But it'll do just to go in and have my vaccination done. I literally feel like I don't know, Donald Duck with it. So yeah, that is my second jab done. This time they've given me a little risk sheet to do with blood clots, because literally last time I had my jab was literally 2 hours before they changed their recommendation on like the age groups that should have AstraZeneca. So I had AZ, and then 2 hours later they were like, no one under 40 should have AZ because of the blood clot risks. And it also shows you like the risks of some other things as well, which kind of makes sense when looking at it. It talks about like the risk of vaccination with like side effects, and like you're more susceptible to the side effects, you know, like sore arms, flu-like symptoms, the younger you are. And mine was really intense, and it's obviously, it's higher. You're more risk to it the younger you are. So I'm assuming that's based on like your immune response. So like the fact that you have intense or a harsh reaction to the jab is just an indication of your immune system doing its thing basically. So having, you know, a flu-like symptoms after having the first jab, to me looks like a positive thing. It's showing that you've got a good immune system that's, you know, fighting instantly. Doesn't really give you any detail about the blood clots, but I think that's because like the blood clot risk is still quite a precarious risk. It is more so like correlation rather than causation. Like it just so happens that a few people got blood clots who had AstraZeneca, but there's no indications to suggest that it was the AstraZeneca that caused it, at least at the point in which they changed the recommendation. I don't know if things have changed, but anyone wants to enlighten me, they can enlighten me. Anyway, they've told me that I cannot drive for 10 minutes, so I've just got to sit in the car, talk to you, bought myself a meal deal from the Tesco's next door. So you and that shall keep me occupied. I got a barbecue chicken and bacon and cheese sandwich, some Fridge Raiders, and one of those protein shakes. I'll catch up with you again later and see if anything kicks in, any side effects or anything. So it's what, the evening following having the second jab so far. So what, it's 10 o'clock now, I had it at 11? Yeah, so that's what, 11 hours ago. I don't know, I think 11 hours ago. And I feel fine. I think it was a lot quicker than this last time that I had like the side effects kick in. So I'm going to assume from that that I'm going to have a good response to this one. But I'll know in the middle of the night if I wake up with a fever again. I don't see that happening this time. I think second time, it's just a little top up and a breeze. I think my body's already done its thing of adapting to the vaccine. But yeah, no side effects so far. The lady told me to stay hydrated, so I've done that. She said that'll help alleviate any potential side effects. I've not bothered reading through the rest of that paperwork because I don't really care, because I've had it now. If something happens, it happens. But such a small, near impossible chance. There's no point in thinking about it. So it's actually not a day later at this point. It's actually been, what, how many days? It's Friday now. So 4 days later. 4 days later since having the jab. Because nothing did happen. Second time, nothing. Didn't get a sore arm, didn't get any like flu-like symptoms, headaches, anything. I was perfectly normal. Nothing this time round. So the second jab is definitely a lot better than the first jab. But yeah, sorry I can't provide you with anything more interesting on me dying. Like, you know, last time when I had the first jab, I didn't think to reach over and grab my camera and start recording myself when I was, you know, felt hypothermic, but I had a fever, so it's the complete opposite. I was more there like, yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. So I kind of wish now, after like the response to my first AstraZeneca video, it got some good natural traction, which is why I wanted to do an update following my second one. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't record myself like dying from the first one, because yeah, nothing's happened from the second one. It's all been a breeze, it's been easy. It was over quick and easy. No noticeable side effects or changes or but yeah, that's me fully protected in like, what they say, it's 12 days or something, the incubation period before it's doing its jazzy stuff. But yeah, that's me done. So I'm hoping, you know, she mentioned that the lady, the nurse that did it, mentioned something about NHS app that I needed to download, because those cards that they gave us with like the signatures and then the sticker on for the second one, that isn't what will be used to validate our vaccine status in the future. Say they were to introduce vaccine passports, it's going to be the NHS app, which I believe I did download ages ago. But it had none of the information that it said it was going to have on it. So I was like, oh, this is pointless, so deleted it. But now I've got to download it again. Because if they do decide to introduce vaccine passports, and looking at how it spreads again, and the Indian variant and all the, I don't know what to call it. I'm just going to call it drama. It's not what I necessarily mean drama, but all the drama in the media, all the fuss, everything's being made. You know, although we're in a far better position than we were last year, and we are on track to have our rights returned to us to all go on with our lives normally again and the world open up, hopefully. It looks like that. The way that politicians are going on, the media's going on, I don't know, I kind of feel as if they are at some point going to introduce some form of mandate. Don't necessarily agree with it. I don't agree, I don't disagree with it. I think, like, you know, adults should be able to make their own decisions, but they should make those decisions for the right reasons. But if people's decision to not do something is going to have, you know, a severe detrimental effect on the rest of the population, and I can understand why they'd want to mandate things, but is there any evidence to support that, you know, people choosing not to have it is going to have any severe repercussions? Though whilst we are in lockdown, there is no evidence to support the vaccine reducing transmission rate, because it's not something they tested for originally. They were only testing to, you know, see if it would reduce deaths, basically. Transmission wasn't something they were focused on. It was more so bringing that death toll down and tackling the side effects of COVID. But I believe since then, since we've come out of lockdown, they're trying to suggest now that, there is data to support the fact that vaccinated people with a vaccine is reducing the transmission rate. So prior to that, there was really, in my opinion, it didn't really matter if people chose not to get it. But if there is scientific evidence, and that evidence is widely supported, which suggests that transmission rate is reduced by being vaccinated, well, it's no longer just about protecting yourself. It's, you know, and it doesn't matter that if you're young and you think you'd be able to fight it. It now boils back down to the fact of the matter of people that aren't as healthy as yourself, or the more vulnerable in society that you could pass it on to. And if the vaccine does reduce transmission rate, if scientists, if, you know, the medical professionals out there do conclude that, you know, categorically, then I struggle to see any justifications for people not wanting it, and I'd struggle to see any arguments against a potential mandate. but at the same time, I don't feel as if we should need to get to a point of mandating things, because I feel that people should, I would hope, make the right decisions themselves. And it would just be unfortunate if that isn't the case, and then, you know, it's forced upon ourselves. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a medical professional, you know, I've got basic understanding. I try avoid media outlets for my information and try to look more so to like the accredited medical journals like the BMJ, etc. So, you know, if you're one of these people that are a bit scared about the sort of things you're hearing and seeing in the media or on social media, I'd probably advise doing your own research. And when I say your own research, not into shady websites or YouTube videos, I mean into like accredited. Look for you know, really good sources, look for medical journals, things that are published and have got some level of accountability and a representative of an organisation that's actually, you know, got a clue in that area. Get your information from that. And I would hope if you know, if you've got some anxiety, some concerns about certain things, just go away and research it. Just be very conscious of where you're getting your research from. But, you know, some critical thinking and some, you know, diving on the internet, you should be able to pick out and find the sorts of sources that are credible and that are giving you information from credible people. But yeah, it's down to you what you do. I've had both of mine now. I'm happy I've had both of mine. If I've experienced any negative side effects or consequence in the future, well, it's, you know, I would be part of such a small minority statistically in relation to negative or serious negative side effects from vaccines that I belong to a statistical anomaly, realistically. So I'm not going to get overly anxious about that. There's far more things I get involved with in everyday life, such as jumping in my car, which puts me at a greater risk, and I don't, you know, I don't lose sleep about that. So yeah, I think that's me done talking about it. Anyway, you do you. If you're called up, if you're offered the opportunity, take it if you want it, don't take it if you don't, but just make these decisions for the right reasons. Don't be swayed by, you know, anxiety or fear induced from being in this, you know, fishbowl for the last year. I think, you know, put yourself back in the mindset of the pre-pandemic you and think, how would you have looked at this scenario before being locked in a fish tank for a year? Because I think that's one big thing. People's outlooks and the way in which they're seeing the situations and the anxieties and the fear that they're feeling is magnified a lot more at the moment because of the environment we've been in for the past year. But if we try to get ourselves back to that mindset that we were prior to this, I think that's a lot more positive approach to how we see vaccines than this fearful one that we're in at the moment. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. You do you. Adios.